Imagine that I told you that the key to getting a woman interested in you is to take a step back. You chased her for weeks and did everything you could to win her over, but then you just disappeared. Nobody calls or leaves a message, and what happens next is truly amazing. In today's video, we'll look at the psychology of attraction from the point of view of turning your attention away. Turning your attention away not only changes the game, but also it's not just about altering the narrative of your interactions. It's about, when you're dating, you need to use the power of self-control and smart detachment. When you stop chasing women, something amazing happens that can pique her interest and awaken her. Primal urges to compete. Prepare to explore the most profound aspects of a woman's psyche as we uncover the secrets that will not only captivate her, but also transform your approach to dealing with her. If you want to be with her forever, are you ready to become the man she can't stop thinking about? Almost time to start. Don't forget to like this post if you find it useful. Sign up for more tips that will improve your dating life. First, she becomes interested. Imagine that you've always pursued her, like a child chasing a dream. The individual who reaches out is always the first to take action, making themselves known. You send that text every morning and make sure you're in the right place, where she might be hoping to see you, but one day you don't. Please refrain from sending any more good morning messages and avoid accidentally running into her. For a moment, she experienced nothing but silence, as if you had vanished from her life. What do you think? Think about what will happen next. This is where things change drastically by pulling away. You're disrupting the rhythm to which she has become accustomed. I can't believe what just happened or why he stopped. You've become a puzzle. This is what she can't solve, friends. This is where the intrigue begins to take hold. This change fits nicely with the Stoic beliefs, which say that instead of trying to control things, you should let them happen on their own. Human nature is curious, even when we don't want something to happen. Even more so when things don't go as planned, when you stop following, when you stop giving her all of your attention. She'll start to wonder about you and look at her phone to see if she might have missed one of your messages or heard your name in a chat, and pay more attention, wondering what you're doing. All of a sudden, the balance has changed, and now it's she who's left wondering, not you. Tell her your location, activities, and why you're not looking for her. Keep in mind that chasing someone makes them feel pursued. When you give someone power, you're in charge. However, when you step back, you can stop them. As you eagerly seek approval, an amazing event unfolds, restoring your power. Now she thinks about you more, not because you're after her, but because your absence has made room for her. That's when her curiosity starts to grow, and she starts to wonder if she missed something. If you're no longer interested in her or have moved on to something important, being on the lookout for something or someone else is a sign of Stoic knowledge. Following someone and constantly seeking their praise is a form of attachment. But when you distance yourself from her and cease requiring her attention, you not only liberate yourself from the anxiety of pursuit, but you also enhance. In the process, your confidence and self-assurance shine through. You no longer need her approval to feel positive about who you are. Here's the real you. People gravitate toward difficult-to-get things when you stop chasing after them. Whenever you become that unsolved puzzle, she'll think about you more and more. Not because you're manipulating her thoughts, yet your transformation into something captivating inspires her curiosity. She took charge of the story by stepping back and letting her interest guide her. You filled in the blanks and became the most intriguing person I've ever met. She'll notice the change in her day and soon be the one, being after you to find out why she keeps thinking about you, and that, friends, Here's how to change things without exerting any effort. You take charge. She wants to solve the puzzle, but she can't quite shake because she doesn't need to. The more you think about yourself, the more she seems to be interested in you. And your own peace of mind, the more attractive you get, the more she starts to think about this. When you step back, something powerful starts to happen. To play out in her mind, telling her that your loss is felt. She begins to contemplate her actions in a manner she may not have previously. It's like you held up a mirror and forced her to see herself differently for the first time. All of a sudden, she starts to question everything. Was she too casual? When she cancelled plans, did her answers make you feel bored, or did she laugh at your jokes? The jokes seem a bit forced, leading her to question if her actions were appropriate. This is where things get interesting for her, since you've pulled away. Her mind turns into a courtroom where she is both the offender and the judge. He goes over old talks, reads all of the texts, and breaks down old interactions, looking for clues. Did she say something wrong? Was her tone too cold? It's not just a thought, it's the start of a deep self-reflection process. She is examining herself in a manner she has never done before, the records of your relationship, which makes her take a tough stance. Look at what she does, how she acts, and even how she feels. Although this does occur, it's because of your absence, empty space, a silence where there used to be steady pursuit. This empty space makes her question not only the relationship, but also herself, and this is where the smart come in. When you step back, you're learning emotional control, which is where Stoicism comes in. One of the key concepts of Stoicism is detachment, rather than reacting to her behavior by chasing or fixing the things you've chosen to pay attention to. As Epictetus stated, the need for approval or recognition doesn't drive you. We can always choose how to deal with our external situations. You decided not to chase her and instead let her find out what she needs to know on her own. This shift often leads her to unexpectedly come to the conclusion that she might not have been as involved as she thought she was. She should have been aware that she took your attention for granted. Perhaps she is aware that her efforts were not as strong as they could have been. Now that you've given her some room, she starts to make changes. It helps her grow by making her more aware of how she's treating you. The beauty of Stoicism in relationships is that you're allowing her to come to these decisions on her own, without anyone having to trick or force her. You're living your best life and working on your own growth while she's going through this process. And goals. You're not just waiting for her to come back. You're living the Stoic ideal of strength and moving forward no matter what happens. This is an ability you've learned. Detachment, a powerful ability. Knowing that your worth doesn't come from her care, but from inside you when you finally make up your mind. You'll likely notice a change in her when you look at the picture again. She's more interested and involved, grateful for you, and maybe even more drawn to you than ever before because your time away gave her a break to think about what she might be missing. It works out well for everyone because you've both grown and gotten better. Things are now more in your favor, so keep that in mind when you stop chasing her. It doesn't cost you anything to be emotionally strong and give in. In fact, it gives you the advantage. Giving her a chance to think and grow is what silent power is all about. Relationships by letting go of the need to chase and letting each other grow. Becoming better people. Before we proceed to the next point, let's pause for reflection. The power of this method lies in accepting emotional control and detachment. A key Stoic principle is that your worth doesn't come from others' opinions. I am deeply grateful if this message resonates with you. Share your stories in the comments section below or just type, "My value." Your thoughts and reflections are what make this come from within me. We are grateful to have you all on this journey to improve our community. Now let's move on to the third point, She knows who she is. Feeling like you've been going around and around trying to get someone's attention, putting effort into every conversation, every move and every second, but then you stop, not because you're mad. This is not a sign of defeat, but rather a deep and powerful understanding. The Stoic perspective suggests that by abandoning the pursuit, you've provided her with something unexpected. Space. Think about you deeply. This is where everything changes. It's like a shift in the air. The air changes in a way that's difficult to notice, and suddenly you're no longer there. Often, she can't always get your attention, and that changes the balance. When you step back, she flips. It's like you set off a spark in her mind. She starts to feel something she hadn't felt before as she sees a light she didn't know existed. She was unaware of the feelings she had been suppressing. Stoicism, which teaches us to let go, appears to have a connection to this idea. We should focus on our own thoughts, actions, and lives instead of the things we can't change. You lose attachment to the outcome when you give up on something. Instead of focusing on her reactions or attention, focus on yourself. You should take care of your inner peace, strength, and sense of self-worth. You let her think about how she really feels about you before, when you were. She didn't have to think about it because he was always there, texting, calling, and making plans. She might not have even thought about how much your presence meant to her. But now that you're gone, there's a void, and nature hates nothingness, she says. To see the little things she had missed, those times your words made her smile and the comfort she felt knowing you were present. It felt like a movie pause, and now she's gone. She continued to reminisce about the most memorable moments of the event, the ones she often overlooked due to her constant presence. As Marcus Aurelius said many times, this is where the real power lies. When you step back, what's stopping you from taking action becomes your path. Your absence will show her how much you care because you made it happen. As she thinks about it, she might notice that she laughed at a joke you told her. Perhaps she notices how much quieter her phone becomes when you don't text her every day. Each small insight builds on the one before it, culminating in a powerful understanding. It's crucial to keep in mind that you brought value to her life, something she was unaware of until your departure. This process is slow, akin to a fire that is just beginning to burn. Catch fire. She might start to think about you and wonder what you should tell her, who you're with, and, more importantly, why you're not there. She begins to feel the pang of loss, which forces her to face herself. The best thing about her decision is that she came to it all on her own. You didn't have to persuade her or change her mind. It's because you gave her room to feel it. So guys, the least is that it's possible that engaging in quiet activities could be more effective than giving her your undivided attention all the time. She had the strength to step back and let her deal with her own feelings. Tell her she was lucky to have you and clarity. If it strikes, it will have more power because it's her choice and not something. That's the power of Stoicism in action. Take charge of yourself and everyone else. We'll fit into place 4 for judging your value when you step back and stop trying to get her praise all the time or pay attention. Something deep starts to happen to you. You feel like a rare and important treasure that all of a sudden everyone sees. But this time, the main difference is that taking yourself out of the chase helps both of you see your imagine the real value if you were always ready and nearby. You may have surprised her with your kindness, but now that you've shown it, distanced yourself. It's like you shone a light on all the ways you improved her life. She's no longer concentrated on you being there, but on absence, and that absence says louder than any words could all of a sudden. The aspects of you that she previously overlooked begin to take center stage. Perhaps it's because you consistently made her laugh when she was feeling down, having a bad day, or how you knew exactly what to do to help her when she was. Maybe it's the little things you do, like remembering her favorite song, that mean a lot. When she needed comfort, you brought her favorite snack or a song. Now she's by herself. She may not have fully appreciated all the ways you made her life better. I liked it before. It's like she's making a list of her events, and it's getting harder to ignore those little holes where you used to be. Small moments spent together, inside jokes and spontaneous texts are common. The knowing looks. She is now replaying the scene across the room in her mind. What was once an everyday occurrence is now a distant memory. From a calm perspective, this change is solely about what she longs for. She's noticing your absence. It's about you rediscovering your sense of self. Stepping back and not looking for approval is a core Stoic concept that you're following. It's important to value yourself and avoid linking your identity or happiness to that of others. It's not about playing with her feelings, it's about you realizing that. Getting respect or love from others doesn't make you valuable. While you're not after her, you take charge of your own life. You should invest in yourself while you're living your own story. She is discovering that following your dreams and concentrating on your growth can bring you happiness. She begins to miss the times when you were there, regardless of how much she enjoyed her best times with you. They were the only ones she could rely on, the ones who brought her joy and laughter. She is adding happiness to her life without expecting anything in return. Your initiative is helping her see your worth, not because you begged her to. Leave her alone and let her feel the emptiness while you enjoy life and learn. She's learning something new that she might not have known before as she grows. She thought about you a lot and trusted that you would be a suitable choice for her. When my friend experiences a moment of clarity, it feels as though she has discovered something truly valuable. A gem that was always there but is only now fully understood, and being aware of it is where your power lies. You stopped running, but now she's the one who started to chase. Let's pause before we proceed to the next point. Consider the power of knowing your worth and then letting others do the same. When you stop chasing and start focusing on yourself, you'll achieve more than just regaining your worth. You're in charge of your life and your happiness. If this hits home for you, please click that like button. Click the comments button and share your thoughts or experiences. If this message truly instills a sense of strength in you, please proceed. Type "I take charge of my life" below to keep coming up. The combination of the 5 numbers strengthened the draw. We've all heard the saying, despite the cliché, being apart fosters a deeper sense of affection. It has a lot of truth to it. But when you put it together with the knowledge of Stoicism, you get to a deeper level. You not only create an absence, but also evoke mystery, drama, and most importantly, a sense of mystery. Value. Let's break this down. Think that you're not always. Instead of calling, texting, or trying to impress her, you've turned your attention to understanding yourself, your hopes, your dreams, and how you can improve yourself from a Stoic perspective. This is where your real power lies. You're no longer driven by, you don't need her approval or mental support to be on track. Your goal and this quiet confidence speak volumes without you having to say a word. In a single word, imagine the emotions she feels. You're not calling her on her phone. To please her is to change into someone else. She finds it easily accessible, and suddenly her interest peaks. She starts to wonder, what are you doing with your time? Are you following your dreams? Putting money into your job or your hobbies makes the mystery grow. Make it into a puzzle. Believe me, nothing draws people in more than an unsolved puzzle. Puzzle. Being so far away lets her imagine what kind of person you might be. She begins to contemplate you from a fresh perspective, identifying potential. Your past pursuit has left a lasting impact. Your absence gives her a chance to think about all the positive things that have happened. Your charm and drive are what initially drew her in. It is almost as though she is witnessing a new aspect of you when you amuse her. Light a candle that gets brighter now that you're not chasing her. Stoics teach us that external events such as acceptance or disapproval can change our actions. While we can't change others, we can change our actions. Our mindset is that stepping back demonstrates control. Being content and fulfilled doesn't rely on her being there. This holds immense power, as it projects an idea of self-respect, independence, and mental peace that are once you stop chasing her, she becomes attractive. Something amazing starts to happen. She starts to feel the shift. Maybe she's used to being the center of your attention. Since she was the center of your attention, she starts to feel, I miss you, and your absence leaves a hole, which she fills with her attraction. She starts to think about where you are, what you're doing, and why you're not there. That secret piques her curiosity, but it's not just about her. Imagine that when you stop chasing, you send a clear message that you value. Remind yourself that you're not prepared to surrender your pride or respect. At this point, the Stoic attitude shows through. You stay calm. You maintain your composure and are not preoccupied with seeking her approval. Instead, you concentrate on your own life, which is within your control. That's growth, and that says louder than any words or big things could. She will begin to miss you and notice everything about you that she once knew. She was drawn to you. Perhaps it's because you always seemed to know what you had to say, or how you carried yourself with quiet confidence could be your message. It could be you're making you laugh or remembering things you did together while away. All these traits become more vivid and appealing, and she will see. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is where the paradox of attraction comes in. It's obvious that sometimes doing nothing is best. Instead of chasing her away with excessive attention, you allowed her to come to you. You create an environment where her interest can develop organically without your intervention. Sixth, she changes her goals. Think about it. If you're always there for her, she might not notice the little things you do to make her day better. She was unaware of the extent to which your conversations or mere presence alleviated her distress, as it was so commonplace. I was always there for you as soon as you pulled away, even in the silence you left behind. Makes her think, and she starts to think about what's missing and, more importantly, what before this change she didn't value. It was something else entirely. This is also a practical illustration of a Stoic principle. Letting go of what Stoicism teaches this by focusing on yourself and not clinging to other things instead. Instead of basing your happiness on what other people do, regain control by stepping back. You're not playing with her feelings. You're just giving her time to figure out how valuable you are on her own. If you've been texting her constantly, start first. Her accustomedness may make her think you're always there, but when you stop being absent, she starts to wonder why you're not there. I haven't asked her why she no longer feels comforted or joyous by you. She might start to think more about you after reading these texts. Even the attention she used to ignore is missed when her goals change to include, you're no longer just interested. It's a sign that she values you, is interested in you and ready to spend in you. And this is the important part. Without stepping back and accepting it, you couldn't have made this change. Bravery and letting go of the need to get her praise, you let her. When a woman discovers her worth at her own pace and on her own terms, when she starts to focus on you, it's a strong sign that she's not just interested in you. This shift in goals can only occur if she is genuinely interested and invested. If you stop chasing her and allow her to come to you, remember that. Giving up is the best way to move forward. trust that what's meant for seventh, the fear of losing you. Think about this. As soon as you stop following her, everything changes. Turn the story around, and she no longer knows for sure that you are always after her. At first, it was enjoyable to try to get her attention. Now, she wants to know why you're not interested in her. There is a deep fear of losing you when you pursue this shift. When something we're used to quickly fades away, our bodies naturally react. We place a higher value on it because we fear losing it. We want things we can't have because it's in our nature to do so. You can easily get what you want, but when you pull away, you make it scarce. Secretly, she has a prize that is no longer simple to obtain. I think about you more often. You've changed from being reliable and simple to reach to being elusive, and this has affected me. If uncertainty causes her to feel uneasy, she may begin to frequently check her phone. If you don't send her messages as often as she used to, she starts to wonder if she made a mistake. If she said or did something that made you want to stay away from her. And in that moment, the fear of, whenever I feel like I'm losing you, the thought of Stoicism comes to mind. You've shown that you're in charge of this scenario by stopping chasing her. You feel like your worth doesn't depend on her approval. You've become a Stoic who believes that instead of reacting, one should be indifferent to the result. You're experiencing emotions or attempting to connect with someone you've developed a bond with. This doesn't imply a lack of concern. Rather, it indicates your understanding of the situation. Value. And you're not going to beg for attention. So what happens? Next, that fear of losing you often drives her to act on her lack of it. It becomes evident that you desire her, and she begins to sense a shift in her feelings. Start texting and calling her more frequently. Make an effort to reconnect with her. She becomes the one who works to keep the relationship going in a way that mirrors the way you used to do it. She's striving to reclaim what she believes is disappearing. Think about how this Stoic advice says that by stepping back, you've let her see the value that she had when you were fully involved. You've given her time to think about what she stands to lose. Isn't about trickery, it's about knowing how to keep the natural balance. When you stop chasing her, you're not playing games, you're just being real. Focusing on your personal development, personal growth, and quiet time is crucial. She now has the opportunity to take charge, which is a significant change. As a Stoic, you have to lead with self-respect, not because you want to. The moment you pull away, you're not trying to trick her into caring. You're trying to realize happiness comes from knowing your worth, not others' approval, and not chasing what doesn't help you when you stop chasing her. Give her a chance to enjoy your company, fear its absence, and think about what it means to be with you. She wants to keep you in her life because she's afraid of losing you. You've shown that you're whole without her, so that's what matters. If you agree with this idea, where is the real power? What do you think? Have you ever gone through this change in your life? Leave a comment below and tell me about it. The message, I'm whole on my own, or a story may resonate with you. Remember to follow and like this video for more content similar to it. We greatly value your assistance as we progress. We've talked about these important ideas together. Now let's move on to the next one. The 8th point involves making her competitive, even though you were always the one who initiated the action. She had the advantage and could unwind and relish her time. Despite being in the spotlight without doing anything, the power changes when you step away. Now, instead of you trying to get her approval, she's in a position to do that herself. She wants to win your heart, but it's no longer just about grabbing your attention. She's now aware of this, that other women might catch your eye, and that makes her very angry. It's crucial to realize that this competing drive encompasses more than just jealousy, even though it may be a contributing factor. But at its heart, it's about her showing herself something she wants to show. She is the one who deserves your time, care, and love. When you stop chasing her, she starts to understand that she can't take your attention for granted anymore. You may start to notice small but important changes in the way she acts. Maybe she works harder on how she looks when she knows you're going to be there. Maybe she's showing a fresh interest in the things you like sports, music, or even those quiet ones. By visiting your favorite spots, she's trying to fit in. She's reminding you why you liked her in the first place. In a sense, she's evolving into a more feminine version of yourself. The strange thing is that the farther away you get, the stronger she'll feel. I am driven to get closer, but after this, things get better. The competitive spirit makes her want to win you back and brings out the best in her. In addition to attracting your attention, she's trying to be her best. She starts leveling herself in the process, whether she is aware of it or not. The more work she does to impress you, the better she becomes as a person. This is where the wisdom of Stoicism comes in. Based on Stoic thought, we must have the strength to control ourselves, be patient, and understand that there are some things we cannot change. No one else but ourselves. By choosing to take a step back and not letting you feel compelled to keep chasing her, you show that you're confident and calm. You demonstrate to her that your value originates from within, not from her approval. You desire her praise, which enhances your attractiveness as you lean in. You give her room to talk to you again. Stop letting your need for her get in the way. She is trying to tell you what to do based on the way you're acting toward her and not pursuing her. You're content with who you are and where you are in life. Her unbothered stance is what makes her competitive, which makes her realize that, in the end, you've become. If she doesn't act, someone else might. She didn't anticipate someone pursuing her for a fight because you're now the prize in a game she didn't know she was playing, and she is competitive and will rise to the occasion, ladies and gentlemen. Stepping back and letting her come to you is sometimes the best thing you can do. By doing this, you not only make her more competitive, but you also show her that the Stoic ideal of inner peace and self-confidence means you're not after anyone. You're just letting the world happen on its own, and in this space she will either rise to meet you or you'll be able to leave knowing. Therefore, it can be said that your value was never dependent on her in the first place. Remember that the key to getting a woman's attention today often lies in taking a step back. When you do this, you not only change the situation, but also give. To be calm, you need to believe in yourself and have self-control. Your strength comes from inside, and if you focus on yourself instead of always chasing others, you'll easily become stronger. If you give her time to think, she'll often come back to you more beautiful. Figure out what she's been missing. It's not about games, it's about when you stop looking, you should feel confident and proud of yourself. By getting approval from other people, you take back control of your life and appear calm. Having a sure energy that draws people in easily, if this message spoke to you. Drop your thoughts in the box below and don't forget to like this video. Sign up to receive more articles similar to this one and don't forget to read. You can continue your learning process by watching videos on your screen. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.